What we're going to do today is look at the carbon cycle. Now, carbon exists in the atmosphere. It is a greenhouse gas, however, it's also essential for life because plants, such as this tree here, will absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere in a process known as photosynthesis is used to turn the carbon dioxide into glucose. Glucose is a sugar, provides the plant with energy. Now the plant will respire and use some of that glucose to create energy or to release energy so that it can stay alive. And that process where it breaks down the glucose is known as respiration. So the carbon dioxide enters the plants by photosynthesis. The plants will use some of that glucose they've produced from the carbon dioxide in respiration to give themselves energy to stay alive. But that's not all. Animals come along and they eat plants. By feeding on the plant, they take some of the glucose from that plant and they'll use it for their own purposes to keep themselves alive through a process called respiration. That same process that the plants use. So I just draw a little animal here. And this bunny is eating plant material. It's using that plant material to give itself energy so that it can continue to live. Now these animals also carry out respiration. When they use the glucose from the plants, they respire it, react it with oxygen, respire, and then release carbon dioxide. Now what happens to these organisms once they die? Well, there's two possible routes. The first route, number one, they can end up becoming buried or just lying around in the forest, I guess. And there are microbes in the soil. These microbes will break down the dead bodies and they'll respire it. They'll respire, again, releasing carbon dioxide from the dead bodies. These are called decomposers. Microbes which break down dead bodies, we call it decomposition, and they respire. They convert the carbon molecules in the plants and animal dead bodies back into carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. But there's another option. Sometimes the dead bodies can be buried where decomposers can't really survive. For instance, in an acidic marsh, the decomposers might not be able to survive there, so they won't be able to break the dead bodies down. Over millions of years, those dead bodies will be coming under a lot of pressure as layers of soil, sand, whatever builds up on top of them, and they begin to form fossil fuels. And humans dig down to find these fossil fuels because fossil fuels are an amazing source of energy. And we'll find coal, which we'll then put into, for instance, power stations. Those power stations will burn the fuels in a process known as combustion. Combustion converts the carbon chemicals, carbon compounds in the fossil fuels, convert them back into carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Cars as well. Our transportation industry relies on fossil fuels until we find a more efficient means of generating energy, for instance, using electricity from renewable sources to power cars. But we use fossil fuels to power our vehicles as well. Oil, crude oil is extracted from the ground, and then you can extract other chemicals from that, petrol, diesel, kerosene, all these fuels used for vehicles. We combust them. As they burn, the carbon within the fossil fuel is converted to carbon dioxide. So there is our carbon cycle.